that I welcome all members of the audience to this evening's meeting. This meeting is a working session of the board to conduct the business of the district. The agenda for today's meeting has been published, and the agenda items to be discussed and are voted on have been studied by the board members. I'd like to introduce the people here on the dais with me. To my far left, Recording Secretary Cindy Benson, Superintendent Larry Francois, board members Kimberly D'Angelo, David Kogan, Sandy Hayes, and Brian Smith. I'm Amy Cast, and I currently serve as president of the board. Agendas for this meeting, as well as minutes from our previous meeting, are available on the table at the back. If you're here to address the board on agenda items, please sign in on the clipboard that's on the table with the agendas. You will have an opportunity near the beginning of the meeting for your comments. The first order of business is the superintendent's report.
Good evening. I want to begin tonight by acknowledging and offering my profound thanks to the Bothell High School administrative team, Principal Bob Stewart, and Assistant Principals Sharon Maynor and Elizabeth Cano, as well as Assistant Superintendent Heather Miller, Communications Director Leanna Albrecht, Safety and Security Manager Robert Knoll, Deputy Superintendent Carolyn O'Keefe, and many others for their prompt and professional response to last week's assault of a staff member at Bothell High School. Special thanks and acknowledgement as well to the entire Bothell High School staff for their efforts to reassure and support one another and Bothell High School students through this very concerning and traumatic incident. I'm proud to announce that Secondary Academy for Success has received the Engaged Student Award for 2016 from the Washington State Association for Supervision and Curriculum Development. So congratulations to Donna Tayo and the entire SAS staff for earning this tremendous honor. This award recognizes partnerships, outreach, and opportunities available to SAS students through their work with McKinstry, Cascadia College, 21 Acres, community service projects, the music program, and various other outreach activities. I also want to congratulate Woodmore Elementary Principal Angela Kerr for being recognized by the Association of Washington School Principals as a 2015-16 Distinguished Elementary Principal. Angela is an outstanding and deserving instructional leader who continues to provide excellent leadership for student learning. She has also been so instrumental to the growth and development of so many assistant principals that now serve as principals across our district. On May 16th, I attended the Music Project's Love Alive concert at the North Shore Performing Arts Center. I believe Director Kogan was there as well. Bernadette Bascom, who I think many of you know, did an excellent job working with students with disabilities from Skyview Junior High to showcase their incredible talent and musical abilities. Bernadette has a true heart and passion for serving students who can often be overlooked and unrecognized for their talents and gifts. I've heard from several parents following the concert about the positive impact that this project has had on their child's confidence. I truly hope that we can continue and grow and expand this program in future years. On May 18th, I attended my final, I guess I'm approaching a lot of finals here, Career College Readiness Spring Celebration, my 9th as superintendent or superintendent-elect. I appreciated the opportunity in my welcome to show the video that I worked on with the superintendents of Lake Washington and Riverview School Districts and the presidents of Cascadia College and Lake Washington Tech, showcasing the many opportunities students have to earn college credit in high school and the value of considering our local two-year institutions as highly viable and affordable post-high school options for students and families. And we'd just like to acknowledge President Cast and Director Kogan, who were at that celebration as well. On May 19th, I attended my final Scholarship Foundation of North Shore breakfast. Many continued thanks to the Woodinville and Rotary North Shore clubs, the North Shore Kiwanis, and numerous community partners and patrons for their support of scholarships for deserving students. This year marked a high point for the foundation in the number of scholarships awarded and the total dollar amount of those scholarships. And I was very thankful for the opportunity to address the student scholarship recipients and was certainly deeply humbled by the Paul Harris Service Award presented to me by the North Shore and Woodinville Rotary Clubs. And I believe most of you, all of you were there. I kind of lost track. We were sort of around the room. And then earlier today, attended the WASDA AWSP Equity Conference with President Cast and Director Smith, Kogan, and Hayes. I believe Director D'Angelo will be joining us tomorrow for the second day of the conference. It was always inspiring and thought-provoking to hear from the morning keynote speaker, Pedro Noguera. I also enjoyed co-presenting our district story about our diversity and equity work over the past year with our partners from Education Northwest, and I'm looking forward to another powerful day of learning, reflection, and team planning tomorrow.
Thank you, Superintendent Francois. Next on the agenda is a program and special presentation. Director Kogan would like to introduce the recipient of the 2016 Forest Love Memorial Scholarship.
Thank you, President Cass. I'd like to thank the North Shore Scholarship Foundation for awarding so many scholarships to North Shore seniors. Last week was really a special breakfast event. Here to talk about the Forest Love Scholarship. This is in memory of two North Shore superintendents. Dr. Frank Love served the district for 7 years as superintendent from 1981 to 1988. An elementary school was named in his honor. It was Dr. Frank Love's belief that a person's education was incomplete if one did not learn the importance of giving back to help others. Dr. Karen Forays served 13 years as our superintendent. She instituted the homeschool network as well as the dual language program. She was named the 1999 Washington State Superintendent of the Year, and she was also one of 4 finalists for the national award that year. This scholarship is awarded annually to a North Shore graduating senior who will pursue a degree in either education or the performing arts. The candidate must demonstrate academic integrity, social responsibility, and show compassion and a commitment to community service. We had very many impressive, talented applicants, and the board each picked their top 2. From those top 2, Director Smith and I interviewed 5 people, and from this accomplished and caring group of young people, Brooke made an exceptional impression. She has great GPA and ATC scores for sure. She's involved. She's National Honor Society tennis, drama, choir, International Thespian Society, Class Senate, Web and Link, President of the BHS Earth Club, Northwest Youth Corps, Wilderness Awareness Society. Brooke is a genuine and has a remarkable ability to connect with others. She is committed that her many talents and benefit those without a voice. She's interested in acting, writing, television, and theater. She'll be attending New York University's Tisch School of the Arts in the fall. And Brooke's intelligence, talents, compassion, and work ethic will support her all along her journey. So I'd like to congratulate Brooke Halverson as the 2016 Forest Love Memorial Scholarship recipient.
I would like to thank the board again for the scholarship. I'm very, very thankful. As they said, I plan to attend New York University to major in drama with a possible minor in environmental studies. I plan to act, write, and produce in positive and impactful acting projects. Thank you. One more. Thank you.
So next on the agenda is Association of Public Comments. The North Shore School District Board of Directors has set aside a period of up to 60 minutes to receive updates and comments from association leaders and citizens from our community. The board believes that a safe, civil environment is essential to high student and staff achievement, and that the free exchange of ideas is essential to a quality educational process. The board expects all parties addressing the board to present their comments in a way that's civil and respectful. Please speak directly to the board and address matters related to district operations, policies, procedures, and agenda items under consideration by the board. Comments should not make reference to any employee or representative of the district by name or identifiable reference. Board meetings are not the appropriate settings for personnel complaints. If interested, there is a complaint process available through the Office of the Superintendent. Please note that because of the public governance process, the board may ask clarifying questions regarding topics not on the meeting's agenda, but will likely defer discussion to a future meeting, if warranted, in order to ask staff to prepare any necessary background information for board members to review, and for the discussion item to be included on a published agenda for the benefit of any other parties who may have interest in the topic. Alternatively, a district employee or board member may respond to individuals offering public comment at a later date, if warranted to do so. When addressing the board, please state your name clearly for the records. Please limit your comments to 3 minutes. There's a timer that will sound when your time has expired. And we thank you for your participation in the public governance process. I just want to take this opportunity, if this is a chair prerogative, to be able to tack on a little bit here. It's easy to repeat the paragraphs at every meeting. The board truly values all perspectives, and we generally want to hear them. We understand, though, that means that by promoting all voices, we will have different opinions at the podium. But one constant the board's heard over weeks, over months, over years is a common desire to support our students. And we welcome anyone who comes forward and talks to us and collectively helps us work towards strengthening North Shore. So I just wanted to take the opportunity to say that. Thank you. So at this time, are there any association leaders who'd like to address the board? Sharon?
Hi, I'm Sherry Rudolph, North Shore Council PTSA President. First, I want to give a shout out to our partners at Kenmore Junior High PTSA and Arrowhead PTA, and all of the people that were involved, staff, administrators, Josh is here, for the event Screenagers, the showing of that film last week. It was attended by over 250 people from all over the area, not just in our own community. The attendees also stayed for an insightful group discussion led by retired Arrowhead teacher, Mrs. Jackson. So it was powerful, timely, and another cooperative event idea sparked at the local PTA level, so that's always exciting. But unfortunately, one of our local PTA families is needing all of our support. The Bothell High School teacher that was a victim has worked in a partnership for the last few years doing numerous parent PTA education nights featuring its program, and Joanna Lowell-Forker she's in charge of parent ed at Bothell PTA, and she emailed me while I was at state convention in Yakima and just let me know the deep needs for their community. His program truly impacts the whole district, being a composite program that is you cannot waiver or choice in. Our PTA community as a whole offers support for all who are touched by this. But fortunately, Bothell High School and the Bothell community produce students with great depth of character and commitment to community service. I know this firsthand because one of our board members is a BHS grad, and she has just declared her candidacy for Washington State Senate in District 1, Mindy Ward. So she will finish the PTA year. She's worked so hard as a part of our team until June 30th, and I did chat with some national PTA reps at convention to learn how that will all be done properly. But she will step back from as being our 2016-17 co-president for council. We do have someone that's considering the position. And I will let you know as soon as we can appoint our interim and then vote them in at the September general membership meeting. Also, Mindy and her local PTA, Canyon Creek, were on hand this weekend in Yakima at Washington State's 103rd convention, Washington State PTA's 103rd convention, where their PTA won the Elementary Division Outstanding PTA of the Year award. They will receive compensation to attend National PTA Convention in Orlando. It's end of June and very beginning of July, in addition to a beautiful plaque that they can display at their school. North Shore Council, PTSA, although we did not win the Outstanding PTA, we did achieve the new platinum level for the Standards of Excellence. So I want to thank Board Director Hayes for her wonderful letter of recommendation. It was a huge honor to go on stage with all the other platinum winners for sort of really just doing what we love to do here and following best practices and all of our accomplishments for the board this year. And as we look to the end of this school year, I hope that each of you can attend our spring recognition breakfast, June 2nd at McMenamins, where we celebrate outstanding educators honored from each school, as well as all the volunteers that day in, day out help fill the gaps and help make our district one that is looked at as high quality across the state. I find that all the time, every time I go somewhere. I just, last night, went to train PTA leaders in Shoreline with my new position on the state PTA, and a leader that was in my class, he's at the K-8 alternative school, told me that they look to North Shore for implementation of several ideas over the last few years. The Washington Family Engagement Trust leaders praised NSD Natural Leaders Program at a workshop that I attended in February, and at the Seattle Mayor's Education Summit, one of the mayor's employees that's on the task force, he told me that Seattle only decided to change to later start times because North Shore committed to doing so. So this is a top-notch school district because of deeply committed administrators and employees, and I really see that these are employees and administrators that their commitment surpasses the school day. I see that a lot of days because of innovative teachers that have the ability to recognize kids' needs and inside and outside the classroom, and all of the support staff that are willing to adapt to changing budgets, changing economies, changing conditions because of crowding. But they all seem to love the kids and are so proud of this community. City leaders also are now recognizing that quality education of our children here, of all kids, makes for a positive future for generations to come. And of course, because of parents and I'll call it family members, because that definition is constantly changing, and it really includes all of us. We're beginning to see that advocating for every child makes for a better way to improve the educational culture for their child. So thank you to all of you in your role in shared decision-making, your vision for what this district can be, and your commitment to speaking for those that are not represented in this room today. As you make your middle school academic decision today, I would like to remind you of there is some data that supports increased outcomes for at-risk populations, and I have it from National PTA. Research shows that family engagement supports student success, regardless of income or background. When families are consistently involved in their children's education, students are more likely to earn higher grades, attend school regularly, enroll in higher level classes, develop stronger social skills, graduate from high school and go on to post-secondary education, secure productive work and rewarding careers. So the three components of effective family engagement are a shared responsibility. Schools, community, organizations, and families all play a role in a student's success. Cradle to career. Family engagement is an enduring commitment through a child's life, from early Head Start programs through high school and even to college and career. And integrated across contexts. To be effective, family engagement is carried out everywhere that children learn, including home, school, after-school programs, and faith-based organizations. Thank you for your thoughtful and insightful leadership, especially this spring. We appreciate you joining with us to reach every child with one voice.
Sharon. Any other associations? And thank you for gracing us with your cape again. I have to say, I personally love it. Thank you.
I really want to stay home and work on things, but I want to come to the Cape. My name is Denise Need. I'm the Vice President of CPAC. And I actually have a lot of things to share with you tonight, but I can't because it's secret still. We just decided our Outstanding Service Award recipients for this year. The nominations were closed a few weeks ago. And those will be, they've been decided, but we have to work with the principals and such to officially announce those, hopefully in staff meetings and other forms that will be really appropriate and exciting, and before we make a more major announcement. The same goes with the North Shore School Foundation grants we support in the special ed area. Really want to tell you about those, but I have to wait till another meeting when those also have been decided, or have been released to the principals and to the recipient teachers. The only other thing we have as CPAC, we are too broad of an organization to ever come to agreement with one position for this challenge that you are going to be voting on. But I love what Sherry said about if supporting all students is best for all students. And I'm really looking forward to seeing how we can, from high cap to special ed, and those that straddle both of those, how we can best serve them through the advocacy and curriculum that you'll be, or that will, the direction the district will be going to. Appreciate everything that the district does and the communication you've had with CPAC over the past spring now that we're sticking our head out a little bit more. So appreciate that and look forward to continued of that over the next school year. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Denise. Organizations? All right, at this time, I'll move on to public comment. So how we've started doing this is we ask speakers to identify if they're a student or not. So I will be going slightly out of order in order to have the students speak first, and then we'll go back to the top of the list and work our way down. So the first student on the list is Linnea Schultz. And I have to say, I'm very...
President Cast, before we start, did we need to, is the list long enough where we need to suspend or add the 60 minutes?
There are 29 speakers. If everyone does use their full 3 minutes, we would go over 60 minutes. That's a good point.
Okay, so I move that we allow all people who've signed up the time to speak.
Second.
You can do an oral vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, thank you, Director Smith. And just, so I'd like, thank you. The board is so appreciative when students come, and so the timer's behind you. I know it can be kind of awkward, but I'm happy to help in any way you need. So thank you, Linnea. Thank you, go ahead.
Okay, so I'm a 10th grader at Woodinville High School this year, and I went through Timbercrest Junior High, and I took all of the challenge classes that were available to me, which at the time weren't science, but I took challenge social studies and I took challenge English all my years at Timbercrest. And I was in double jump math, so I didn't get challenge math, but kind of. And challenge really helped me because it gave me a peer group to connect with that had the same values as I did. And it let me find people who were like me, and that was really valuable because they all focus on the same things that I did. So I wasn't dragged into other things that aren't so great, which I'm sure you guys know about. And I thought challenge was also really great because it allowed everyone to choose their level in each subject. So I had friends who didn't like English. So they would take the normal level of English, and then they would take challenge social studies because they like social studies and they wanted to go more in depth. And I liked everything, so I just did everything. And I know both of the options that are proposed don't really mention challenge math, but I think it's really important because most of the people that I knew in junior high took challenge math, and it really helps people get ahead, and it was very common, and it was a valuable thing for people. I really like science, and I really like science in junior high, but we didn't have challenge science, which kind of a little bit dampened my curiosity for science because it wasn't really addressed that much. And I think it's great that kids now have challenge science, and I feel like if we can keep that, we can help kids like me and make them more prepared for high school science classes. There's AP classes in high school, obviously, and those are harder classes that are more difficult for students to be prepared for. And I think challenge really helped me to be ready for the AP classes in high school because I hadn't just been through normal classes in junior high, so I was ready for a little bit more difficult classes. My English class in 9th grade was really difficult for me, and I'm sure a lot of other people who took that class could agree. But that class it really taught me how to write and how to plan my time, and it was amazing. The teacher was so great at teaching us how to think, and it was so much work, and it made me really upset sometimes. But that kind of class is so important to get kids ready for that kind of experience, which they'll have later on in high school. Yeah. So yeah, I think college is great, and it'd be great for people.
Liam Cosette. Pass these for you? We can pass these for you. You want us to pass this out? Let's see if you try. No problem.
Hello, my name is Liam Cozell. I'm a 7th grader from Timbercrest. I'm here regarding challenge because it's important for students to have their voices heard in this matter, one that concerns them. In order to provide the board with a larger perspective on student opinions, I conducted a survey of students, some with all challenge classes, some with few, and some with none. And to avoid any school conflicts, my survey was spread through social media and email, which allowed kids from other schools such as North Shore, Kenya Park, Leota, and Inglemore to take the survey. Because I only wanted student opinions, I included a question that screened out parents and administrators. Okay. Additionally, I added a feature that limited a single IP address from taking the survey twice. I made the survey with SurveyMonkey and incorporated skip patterns to provide an adaptive survey. So if you answered that you took all challenge, it would ask about that. And the same thing for partially challenge and no challenge. This allowed me to gain insight into the perspective of particular student groups. You can find these results in the handout that I have given you. In the interest of time, I would like to instead focus on the questions related to the two options proposed. All 53 students who completed the survey answered these questions. Ask their opinion on a 5-point scale ranging from strongly agree to strongly disagree of option 1, challenge for all, and of option 3, retaining self-select challenge. 85% of students surveyed either strongly disagreed or disagreed with option 1, challenge for all, and 70% strongly agreed or agreed with option 3, retaining self-select challenge. When the question was narrowed to just two options, 92.5% chose option 3, retaining self-select challenge, over option 1. Clearly, the students who will be directly impacted by this and want to have their voices heard would like to keep self-select challenge, regardless of whether they take the classes already, as shown by the diverse sample size. Please respect the opinions of the students, those who are closest to this issue now, and choose option 3, retaining self-select challenge. Thank you for your time.
I'm very impressed with any student that would engage in this process no matter what the subject matter is. So very impressive that you were willing to take the time to do this. Did you have any kids, did you ask any questions? Were there any kids that weren't in challenge classes that answered? Did you have
Yes.
a way of recycling that?
Yes, there are a few kids who took no challenge classes, some that took some, and that is in the handout that I've given you. And if you would like information about, such as like what a student who had no challenge classes answered, you can email me about that and I can give you that information.
Do you have it, is there a page in here that I can look? Because we're making a vote tonight. So.
Yes. It doesn't have specific information about like what a specific student answered because it was anonymous, but it does show how many.
It's question 2.
Challenge. Yeah.
Thank you, did a wonderful job.
Shay Cosell?
Hi, my name is Shay Cozell and I'm in 4th grade at Hollywood Hill Elementary. I am here as a voice for the kids who are still in lower grades because most of them and their parents don't know about junior high or middle school or even the challenge program and how it might affect them in future years. My older brother, who's in 7th grade and takes challenge classes, is how I heard that my choice of taking challenge classes at Timbercrest Middle School might be taken away. In my class right now, I'm feeling that I'm not being pushed enough. My teachers and friends are awesome, but when I get to middle school, I want to be in classes with kids who want to learn even harder things and who want to be challenged. I don't want to be in a class where the teacher has to help only those who are struggling, and I want the teacher to know that sometimes we need help too, and all the work the rest of us do is deserving. I believe that a student should have the choice to be in a challenge class, and without the choice allowed, it could be frustrating or bored. I don't think it's fair that me, my younger brother, younger sister, or anyone entering middle school in the future might not have the opportunity of self-select challenge given to them. The more choices a student is given, the more doors stay open. I hope that you will think about the young kids who don't even know about the vote that's happening tonight, and would probably like the choice of having self-select challenge remain as an option for them. Thank you for your time.
Candidates?
Sorry, so many papers. Okay.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. I'm Cami Bricks. Since the last time we met on this topic, I was approved by my principal to extend the scope and expand the number of my student surveys on the challenge preference. I also chose to more clearly ask the question to students directly. What education model do you prefer? The newly proposed Challenge for All or the current self-select challenge model? This survey was distributed Friday, May 20th, during both lunch periods at Leota Junior High. It was announced on the microphone that all students were welcome to give their opinion, regardless of whether they were taking a challenge class or not. Despite being in the middle of block testing schedule, which means going to different lunches every day, nearly half of the Leota student population took the time to fill out the survey. Some students answered quickly, without leaving a comment, whereas others took more time and wrote incredibly thoughtful reasons why they supported their choice of education model. I chose to do this survey to really give all junior high students the opportunity to have their voice heard about this important decision. The students that participated in this survey know this decision will not affect them, but they know it will affect future middle school students, perhaps their brother, sister, or neighborhood kids down the street. The biggest takeaway I had was that by this age, students want to have a voice, to be heard, and their experience reflected. I also want to express my deep gratitude to all the students who took the time to fill out this survey, and on their behalf, I would now like to present the board copies of the written responses of all 335 student surveys and summarize the findings. On page 1, you can see the diagram. Of 335 surveys taken, they were evenly distributed among 7th, 8th, and 9th grades. You can also see that amongst survey participants, 66% of students are taking at least one regular class, and 34 take 4 to 5 challenge classes. If you turn to page 2, you will see the student model reference, total and by grade. Of the students that selected an option, 33% of the students favor preserving self-select challenge. Only 7% support the proposed challenge for all. Results are evenly distributed among the 3 grade levels.
93%.
93? Okay.
And you're about 30 seconds, Cal.
Okay. I'd also like the board to look at why students did not select self-select challenge. That main reason being that they did not think they were ready for select challenge, and then that was on page 5. And on page 6, you will see why they took self-select challenge. By far of the motivation to take self-select challenge courses comes from the students themselves. Only 6 students cited teacher or council recommendations as a reason for taking the challenge courses. Thank you for your time and thoughtful consideration of the information I've provided. Oh, well, like 6 hours, 6 to 7. I mean, I don't even know. I stayed up so late. Yeah, like 8 or 7 hours. I mean, 336 surveys entering each of the 11 questions into the computer. No, it's only 10 of the questions because some of them are answered questions.
Did you do most of this work by yourself?
I had some help from my supportive mother and sister, so yes.
I wish we had more time for you to present it. You worked hard.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kelly. Ingrid Hansen? Oh, there she is.
Hello, my name is Ingrid Hansen, and I'm a 6th grader at Cottage Lake Elementary. I think we should keep challenge because as a 6th grader, knowing that for my brother and for his friends and for the kindergartners, they need challenge just like we do and like all kids do. Self-select challenge means that you can pick what you want to do, because I know that, for instance, I am not very interested in social studies, so I did not pick challenge social studies as one of my classes. But for reading and for math, right now I'm not being challenged enough in those, so me and my friends, most of the time, we don't pay much attention. We are bored with this because we know it. We don't need it repeated a bunch of times, the same thing. For reading, I got into honors reading challenge, and right now, while the rest of the kids are taking the reading tests, me and another boy in my class can't because these tests are not advanced enough to challenge us in what we are doing. Another problem, I think, so some people are saying that it's not fair because not all kids know about this. Well, I know that my teachers, I was not informed about which classes would help me most. I think that it would be helpful for teachers to talk one-on-one with students that they think would benefit from challenge classes, advise which ones to take, which challenge classes to take, like whether to take challenge math or challenge English. I think that this is important because it both spreads the word to kids and parents, and it helps you figure out which would be your perfect fit, because for some students, some of my friends, they know they're not very good at English, so they don't want to take that, but they don't know whether or not to take math. And I think if teachers talked to them about this and acknowledged whether or not they need to take this, whether it would benefit them, it would be very helpful for them and for some of their friends who could see that and acknowledge that maybe they should also take it. Because a lot of this is based on what your friends are doing. It's supposed to be based on what you need to do or what you want to do, but a lot of it is based on what your friends are doing. So if a few kids were told to challenge themselves, I think a lot of people would. Thank you.
I apologize if I don't pronounce this correctly. Harshal Desai? Shaw? Harshal?
Herschel.
Oh, thank you.
Hi, I'm Herschel Desai, and I'm in favor of option 3 for the middle school academic program recommendation. First off, I'd like to talk about how I don't agree with the mixed ability portion of the option 1. I'm in 4 advanced classrooms, 3 being AP/high cap and the 4th being Algebra 2. In all of these classrooms, the students are put to work around students with similar abilities. All of these classrooms work because they can work together and they're able to learn together. Putting students into heterogeneous classrooms defeats this purpose and doesn't really give them the chance to learn, well, as a group. I'd also like to comment on the challenge aspect of the challenge for all name of option 1. I'd rather call this heterogeneous mixed ability classrooms with a challenge pace, but that doesn't really roll off the tongue. I know quite a few students that only take 1 challenge class, and some of them don't take any. Putting this challenge pace into these classrooms may push up students into classes that they may not be familiar with and not give them the correct, work that they need. Before I close up, I'd like to note that the current challenge program really encourages students to make their own decisions in life, and I really appreciate that they can, choose where they want to go in their education. By removing this ability and putting them into differentiated classes that basically decide what they're going to work, it doesn't really encourage independency as a person, especially at this age. I'd like to thank the school board for listening to all the students and allowing us to talk at the school board meetings. And I hope you take our inputs into account for your decision today. Thank you.
Herschel, I have a
Yeah,
question. Herschel, what grade are you in and at what school? 7th grade at what school? Thank you.
Anna Betancourt?
My name is Gianna Betancourt. I'm a 4th grader at Kokanee Elementary, and I am protesting why we need to keep challenge. First of all, a lot of kids have had a great experience of challenge, and it would certainly not be fair for kids that would not have challenge because they would not get advanced learning. Kids that take challenge usually go to good schools. This would also be unfair for kids who might go into a year without challenge because they may not go to a good college even if they are ahead in learning. Also, challenge is like a private school, and a variety of people cannot afford private school, but their kid is highly achieved. If you get rid of challenge, a lot of kids may go to private school if they can afford it, and you would lose a lot of students. For the 8th graders, you should do 1 year having half of the grade take challenge and the other half not, and take the same elevated test and see the difference between challenge and non-challenge. What you might do is like taking away regular classes for kids that don't take challenge. Is that not unfair? We voted you in this position, so you should listen to us because you would not be in the seat if we did not elect you. Thank you for your time.
Okay, so that concludes the student speakers, correct? Did I read this sheet? Did I miss any students before I go back to the top? Great. Okay, Heather Morstead?
Hi, I'm Heather Wormstead and I'm a school counselor for Leota. I'm here tonight because my community is in so much pain. students, parents, and teachers are hurting, and I just want to try to fix it. I do believe that while we may have differences of opinion, we can still listen and be respectful to one another. I too have a highly capable and challenged student. If I didn't spend my day in a school, I might also be in this crowd supporting the self-select challenge model, but I'm not. I just see things differently. I see that children that have their social and emotional needs met thrive in any environment. Those that don't, they wither. I want to protect children for as long as I can. I believe that we can do it better. As you are fully aware, raising all the children is much more difficult than raising your own. I'd like to offer you comfort for your decision today. My dad, who is a retired judge, says that if people feel heard and the decision is fair, people can live with that decision, even if they're disappointed. I want to thank you and all the parents and committees and task forces for your hard work and the gift of your time. Our children grow up too fast. Time away from them is a sacrifice. Your public service work has been honorable and valued. I believe that we've all been heard. With that, I believe that the decision you make has been well thought out and has included everyone's voice. I hope that tomorrow's work continues to focus on solutions. I hope for peace, sensitivity, trust, collaboration, and patience between parents, teachers, and district decision makers. I hope that our community can begin to heal and will soon no longer be in conflict.
Sylvia Schultz?
Thank you. I'm Sylvia Schultz. This is our daughter, Claire Schultz. I wanted to give a shout out to all the students who've been speaking at this meeting and the previous meeting. I think it would also represent the views of this community to add a student representative on the school board. Certainly any of these students would be highly qualified for that. I think it's probably arguable, but I am your biggest fan of Challenge. I love the Challenge program. Our family has experienced EAP, Challenge, and General Ed. And Challenge has been a fabulous asset, and I would do everything in my power, if I could, to help you make the right decision on this, in my opinion. Option 1 seems to celebrate Challenge. I don't think there's a mechanism to actually enable it to happen. So I question that, but it seems to pursue the right value, that Challenge is really where we want all of our kids to go, right? I believe that. But are the kids ready for that? And that's what I don't think we have. Are the teachers ready for that? And that will take time to implement. So I'm not ready for option 1. I don't see that our schools and our students and our teachers and the funding base is ready for option 1. But I think we can get there by building on option 3. I'm really distressed that math was left out of option 3. I'm distressed because that will eliminate the single jump math option for students that are it's available for every student today. And I don't see how that could disappear and be left behind. It should be integrated into 3. Option 3 should include the math. So I don't know how that got left out. I haven't been part of all of the decision making. I'm sure someone has thought of that already, but I don't see how it's integrated. So in short, my concerns are to make sure that self-select Challenge is preserved. I think it reflects the needs and the desires and the interests of this community. I think it really serves our students to get them into the colleges of their choice because it sets them on that college readiness track that the colleges are looking for. And if they're not going for the IB or AP courses, if they're not confident and ready and well prepared, they won't get into those colleges of their choices. And the students here in this community deserve the best. And I'm very proud of the students in every grade level and every choice level. I respect their needs to make the right choices. Claire, would you like to? I should add that Claire is here. studying for her European geography test. That's tomorrow. So I know all the students here have made sacrifices for their own education by being here and being dedicated to this.
So,
I'm speaking on behalf of all of my friends in my grade and younger. And they stand to lose the self-select challenge option if you eliminate that. So they're the ones who lose the most. And
Sylvia, I just want to provide a point of clarification. The reason why math wasn't listed in the options is because the task force voted to keep the math curriculum structure as it is. So it wasn't part of the discussion in terms of different options in terms of curriculum.
So challenge math will continue?
Yeah.
So then it gets confusing for me to understand because math and science are very related. I would like to see challenge math and science go together, and I don't understand why to split it apart. If it's good for math, it would be good for all the subject areas for our students.
I'd just like to make a point of clarification. I think we do need to discuss that further. I know there's talk, and I don't know that we fully have the path that math will be going on. Is my understanding.
So we can talk about it when it comes up.
Yeah, I had that.
Hi, my name is Corinne Patton. For those of you who don't know me yet, I'm a parent of 4 students in North Shore from age 6th grade to 12th. So my kids won't be affected so much by this decision, but I felt I needed to come and share my opinion. And basically the kids that came before me said it best. I don't think there's much that I can add. The one thing that I was going to ask is that you table the vote on the challenge program until there is more information. I feel like there is data to support keeping the challenge as it is. There is supposedly data for changing it, but that hasn't been shared yet, to my knowledge. And I feel like this decision is being rushed. I'm not sure why it needs to be that fast. I think there's enough changes coming down with the change in middle school, with the new high school. I don't know why we need to make this decision right now on a program that appears to work as it is. So in the interest of time, that's it. Thank you.
So my name is Gary Schultz, and I'm relatively new to the area. I retired in 2011, and we were living in Fairbanks, Alaska. The schools there are pretty good. You know, when we were at the best schools in the area, we're fairly happy there. You know, I had parents in the area, so we wanted to move down to be closer to them. And we looked all throughout Oregon and Washington at all of the communities with the best schools. We went on to schooldigger.com and greatschools.com, looked at all the testing scores, visited lots and lots of communities, and looked at houses, looked at the schools websites and everything. And we ended up here. This area was the best, and the reason we ended up here was because of the scores and because of the EAP and challenge programs. No other community that we looked at had something like that. We were considering Corvallis, but we also talked to parents who were within the gifted programs, and the parents in Corvallis said, "No, you don't want to do that," and the ones here just loved it. So I know there's a desire to have to support all students. The challenge program, my daughter Lene was the first one who spoke to you. She went through it and it was great for her. She worked hard, she had to work hard to do well. And she ended up with a 4.0 every year and has her name on a plaque on the wall along with the other 4.0 students. So very successful. It prepared her really well for the work that she's doing now in her AP classes. and that. So there's a desire to support all students. Having a one-size-fits-all challenge program will not be good for the advanced students. It'll be even worse for those who can't keep up. The worst thing you can do is put somebody into a class and have them not be able to succeed. That'll just lead to lower graduation eventually. I can't imagine that coming up with an idea like that. One of the things that we saw in Alaska was that there was peer pressure from the fellow students, especially affecting the girls, to the popular girls were the ones who dressed well, were pretty, and liked to party, spend time partying. The girls who were smart were shunned. They were referred to as geeks. They don't have that here. There could be some tendency in the regular classes. That doesn't happen here. It's just the challenge program works so well. It really should be left just as it is. Why break it? So, thanks for all your work, and I'm sure you'll make a wise decision. Thank you very much.
Leah Williams.
Good evening. My name is Leah Williams. I'm a lifelong community member, district staff member, middle school task force member, and most importantly, a parent. I'm here to address the decision on the challenge program. I do not need to be here. However, as one of only 2 task force members to support keeping the challenge program, I felt it was important for me to speak. I do not need facts, figures, or studies to know that Challenge for All would be a huge mistake. My own children have had struggles with regular classes. My son being forced into remedial classes because he failed the WASL by a few points. My daughter forced to sit at the kitchen table during lunch at Skyview Junior High, currently, because she had a failing grade. In both instances, my children were humiliated by letting the entire school know that they were in trouble. By being in a remedial class, my son was only able to do 1 semester of an elective because he was a band student. If Challenge for All is selected, these remedial classes and interventions will grow with more and more students made to feel bad about their individual learning abilities. I say individual because that is how we should be looking at our students. Grouping them together in an accelerated class would hold some students back and make more students struggle. I also wanted to address a previous board meeting. The disrespect that staff members showed towards students and parents made me ashamed to be a staff member. Yes, I'm only a bus driver. But up until that night, I was always proud to be a part of North Shore. I could not believe the callous behavior of our staff, walking out and not listening to the differing opinions, especially from their own students. This brings up another point. More staff than you know support keeping the challenge program, but they are afraid to speak out. They are afraid of retaliation from NSEA, other staff, and administrators. I fully expect repercussions from my speaking tonight, whether it be getting kicked off the task force or administration trying to find ways to fire me for being a troublemaker. Retaliation is rampant in our district. I must say, however, that I don't mind being called a troublemaker. I'm just taking after my ancestors. Thank you.
My name is Laura Evans. My daughter is here with me today, Elise. She is a 6th grader at Woodmore Elementary. She came tonight because as I was leaving, she said, "I'm afraid challenge is going to be voted